Working? Got it working? I don't know if it's recording yet. My camera's having a hard time catching up to the, or my phone's having a hard time catching up to the camera, so I'm hoping that it got everything in focus here. I'm going to build a wall today. The same kind of walls that y'all be working on in the shop, except I'm not going to put the back on it, and you'll see what I'm talking about. It's just a piece of plywood that goes in the back. I'm not going to put it on there mainly because it wouldn't fit my car. So what I am going to do is go over measurements and then how to build it, and then I'm going to I guess probably put it up right here somewhere, and that way I can do some projects from home so I can keep teleworking. Anyways, what I'm not going to go over with you guys as my first year students is how to use the circular saw. I do need to make one cut. I'm cutting a 2x4.5, an 8-foot 2x4.5, and because you guys aren't into power tools yet, and I don't want to give anybody a false sense of security with how easy it actually is to use a circular saw, but there's a lot of safety precautions you got to follow. I'm just going to kind of cut that part out of the video. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is attach this camera to my Duodiddy. My phone's probably going to die. All right, oh God, old man standing up. Ew, it's a big pile of dog doo-doo. So this is hopefully about an 8-foot 2x4. And I got it at, yeah, 8 feet on the dot. Hopefully you can see that on my camera. So I'm gonna cut this at 48 inches, which is half of that 8 feet. And there's all sorts of cool ways to do this with a tri-square. Why not? I just make a mark on one side of the tape measure, a mark on the other side, and then grab something straight to make that a straight line. So, and this does not have to be exact, man. This just has to be close. Here's an old, what, piece of 2x6 sitting around. So just put that here. Hopefully I got this on the camera. Line up my marks, make a straight line, and that's where my cut's going to be. Okay, and I'm going to stop recording this for now because you don't need to see this part. Alright, so we're back to recording and my phone's going slow again. A couple of things to show you. Here's my two 4x4s. Okay, cut in half. So you're going to need a total of 5 8-foot 2x4s for this. So over here on my really cool grill, my grill is like one of them old, it's like one of those grills you find at the park, like state parks and stuff. Anyways, 1, 2, 3, 4 2x4s, and then that one that I just cut in half is my 5th one. Okay. In addition, I just cut it with my Black & Decker circular saw, which I've had for I don't know how long, years. I'm not a big Black & Decker fan. This was bought for me, but I've had this thing for a very long time. Probably, geez, probably better than 10 years. But remember from, I believe it was our basic safety chapter, what it was this doesn't have a ground prong. So we just have to cut all that out. Remember to cut all that out. On this plug, there's no ground prong, okay? And the reason why we can do that is because of this symbol here. Let me try to zoom in with my head. Get it, come on. I gotta wait for my phone to catch up. There it is. There it is. See that square inside of a square? That means double insulated. That's how you get away with not having a ground prong. Anyways, I'm just gonna go ahead and assemble this this wall. It's super easy from here on out. I do need one piece. Oreo, go lay down. I need this. Sorry, my house is messy. I got lots going on. Okay, I need this panel. So what's gonna happen is I'm gonna lay out my wall. And you see my other dog in there laying down. I'm gonna lay out my wall on this concrete, and you'll see what that panel is for. I believe the panel is like 14.5 inches. So that's gonna be one part where well, you'll see what I'm doing. Hold on. I'm not even gonna try to explain it. Set this up here so I can see what I'm doing. Get these two guys I cut. So how this is going to lay out is this is a top plate and this is a bottom plate basically. And then you're going to have, oh, almost fell down. You're going to have a 2x4 on the end, like that, and then another 2x4 on this end. Oh man, my allergies are disgusting this year. So like that, and like this. And I think what I'm gonna do is take this GoPro off of my head and just let y'all see what I'm doing here. Okay. So there's Oreo, please get out of the way. Thank you. I'm going to nail that part and that part. Now make sure the 2x4, the half part you cut, is going to end up being on top of the 8-foot 2x4s, like that. And then I'll do the same thing here at the bottom. My patio is not quite long enough, so this will be fun. Like that. Like that. So that would be the bottom. So I'm going to nail all these together real quick, and then I'll put, what just happened? Was I not recording any of that? I think I was recording. Alright, so then I'm going to put these two 2x4s in the center here. Oreo, go lay down. Okay? Go lay down. Alright, so let me go ahead and get all that working. Make sure you can see it when I do this. Maybe another step down here might work better. Yeah, that looks a little better. And then I'll show you how I space the two in the middle. You can use screws for this. It's probably easier. I just had a bunch of nails laying around, so I'm just going to nail it in. Hopefully we can get this to a spot where you can see me doing that. I'm going to put 2 in. Okay, so now you can see I got it nailed together. It's just I just put 2 nails, top and bottom. Okay. What I'm going to do now is put these other 2 in. I'm going to find my center using my tape measure, mark it at the top and the bottom, place my panel, which I'll also find the center for, make a mark top and bottom, put the panel dead center at the bottom, line up my 2x4s, nail them in, put it up at the top, line up my 2x4s, and nail it in. Super easy. Okay, so first up, let's get the center. Let me put my thing back on so y'all can see me doing this. Why does it keep going like that? Okay, I'm just gonna hold it because it's gonna be too much of a pain in the butt to do what I'm trying to do. All right, so here's my panel, and it measures to and basically 14 1/4. Okay, a little bit over 14 1/4. So I'm gonna make my center. I'm gonna make my center be about. See how it's slightly larger than 14 1/4. Well, probably not on this camera because it looks funky. But it is. It's like 14 5/16. So I'm just going to say 14 1/4. Which half of that is going to be 7 1/8. Oh, this GoPro keeps turning off. 7 1/8. So I'm going to mark my top and bottom at 7 1/8, maybe slightly more than 7 1/8, and then I'll get my center line for this 2x4 here, which is going to be, you know, I cut them at 48, so it'll be 24, and then the same up there. So I'm going to go ahead and mark all my center lines, and then I'll show you what's next. All right, so you can see I got the center line on my panel marked, and it's lined up with the center line on the wood, pretty close. And then I sandwiched these 2x4s in between it. In a normal house, all your studs are going to be 16 inches apart, okay? But we're working with what limited material we have here and in our shop. So we took a 4-foot 2x4, got the edges, and then the center is going to be wide enough to fit a panel into, because the panel is actually going to screw in from the sides here into this 2x4. You don't want to screw it into the back, because that's going to, if your screw is going to be too long for that, you're going to go through the plywood and through the siding and out the back of your house. Okay, the back of my house, where my panel is right over there where the service is going in, and that's concrete, so it could, I mean, I guess if you got short enough screws, you're good. It's best just to go in the side of the 2x4s, like we're gonna do. Also, P.S. Dear Diary, once you guys get to the point of installing your panels, notice how it's about ½ an inch sticking out past the plywood. I mean, not past the 2x4 there. And that's because they're going to come back, you know, eventually at some point, if this was a real house, and they're going to put drywall right here. So it'll be nice and flush with the drywall. Remember, the back part here where my concrete is, that's going to be a piece of plywood, and this whole thing would be standing up, okay? All right, so I'm going to nail these in and show you what we got. How do I... All right, so, whew, out of breath. This end's done. That was the end I just did. I flipped it over and put it up against the stair into my basement, so I have something to nail up against. And I'm going to go ahead and do this end. Line up my halfway marks, sandwich it in there, and put some staples, or staples, put some nails in there. Okay, so there's the final project, whatever. I got it sitting on some bricks. I'll probably leave it on there. I got to screw it up into the beam above. I was trying to figure out a way to secure it. And now that I'm looking at this video, I apparently need to power wash my deck as well. That is icky. Ew, gross. All right, so looks like I got a Thanksgiving project. Yucky. Also, one thing I should note, this is basically exposed outdoors. I know it's under my deck, but water obviously comes through the slats in the deck. So if you're going to do it outside, you might want to use treated wood. I didn't use treated wood. This is just regular old, you know, pine 2x4s, nothing special about it. But this isn't going to be up here for very long. I plan on taking this down definitely before the end of the school year. And then I'll have a nice little bonfire with the wood. But real quick, once I do get it mounted, you'll see. Oreo, can you please, all right? Jeez, I know you're trying to help, but dang. Real quick note, here's the panel, okay? And I was saying it's gonna fit in between the 2x4s. It's gonna fit right in there. And then, you know, it gets screwed into the sides. Whoops, don't want it falling down on me. You could definitely put the plywood behind this. It's gonna make it a lot heavier, but it's also gonna make it a lot sturdier. Mine's, you know, pretty wobbly. I mean, these 2x4s in the middle are, you know, they'll bend in and out. So I might end up doing that, or figuring out some way to make that a little more secure, because we're gonna end up drilling holes through this wood, hitting it with hammers, and you don't want that bendy in the wood. So I might I don't know, I'll figure out something. It might end up being a 2x4. I mean, a plywood backing on this, but that's basically how you build the wall. And then, you know, if you're going to do the plywood backing, this is 4x8, so one sheet of plywood will fit right on there perfectly. Just screw it right into the studs. All right, you could even do a half sheet, really, to be honest. It doesn't matter. Okay, that is it, and I'll go fix this up in editing. Was there anything else I wanted to show you? Y'all want to see me do a backflip real quick? I haven't done one in a long time, so I'll try. Let me make sure that this is set up right so you can see the trampoline. Alright, I'm tucked in my shirt. Hang on a second, everybody. It's going to take me a couple tries because, number one, I'm a lot heavier than when I started quarantine. I'm pretty sure I gained 15 pounds. It does not want to come off. Alright, there we go. Alright. I don't know if I'm supposed to wear shoes on here or not. I'm supposed to wear shoes on a trampoline? I think I'll take them off. Alright. I'll give it a couple of tries, but it takes me a minute. I haven't done this since the beginning of quarantine. Let me take off these sunglasses. And I'm in blue jeans, so I'm gonna zip this up. I don't want to fall through. Okay, here we go. Hopefully y'all can see me.